Hi, I'm Laura Lassen-Boatman. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to do positive energy psychology, or PEP for short. This is a technique that I developed myself, and you can learn more about where it came from and what it is and how to use it most effectively in my other videos. I'll put some links for those right about here, okay? So if you're interested, you can watch those. But in this video, I just want to teach you how to do it. There are three key pieces of positive energy psychology that make it unique that I want to just talk about for a second here. Actually, I go into more detail into my What is PEP video, but they are that we're going to be focusing on positive phrases. So we're going to be focusing on what we want to experience, the states of being we want to experience. Also, we're going to be touching the points instead of tapping on them. Touching the points is much more centering, and it helps you to anchor these positive phrases in your consciousness. It just feels really wonderful. And the third piece is the way that we phrase the affirmations is unique to positive energy psychology. You're going to be describing states of being instead of using I statements. So instead of saying, I want to feel happy and prosperous, or I am happy and prosperous, you would simply say, feeling happy and prosperous, or being happy and prosperous. And I'll go more into that in a little bit. So those are the three pieces of positive energy psychology to keep in mind as we go through this. Okay, so before we get started with positive energy psychology, you're going to need to come up with at least one phrase that you want to anchor in your consciousness. So what you want to do is you want to find something that you would like to experience. It can be something you want to feel. It can be a new, empowering belief that you want to hold in your consciousness. It can be something you want to experience in your life. So you're just going to make a list of those things that you really want to experience. And as I said, it can be simple. You can just start with one. So just come up with at least one phrase that you want to anchor in your consciousness. And so you can start with a list of things that you want. Just make a list of the things that you want to experience internally and externally in your life. You can also just start with the affirmations that you already are working with yourself. If you've got a list of affirmations or some affirmations you really like, you just transfer them into the PEP style affirmation. So that's another way that you can kind of go about this. Another thing is, if you're having some difficulty coming up with ways, positive phrases that you want to anchor in your consciousness, or the things that you do want, you can always just focus on those things that you don't want. You can just make a list of the things that you don't want to experience, the difficulties you're having in your life right now, and then turn those into the positive. Find a positive resolution to each of those things. What would be the best way each of those could resolve? How would you feel? The positives of each one. So that's another way that you can kind of go about developing your list. So once you have the list of the phrases that you want to anchor in your consciousness, we're going to turn those into PEP-style affirmations. So, as I said before, what we're going to do is we're going to leave the I out of the affirmation. The I's can give us trouble. As I go into in more detail in my What is PEP video, we can really feel more resistance if we're saying, I have this thing that I want already, because part of it says, no, you don't. Or you say, I want this thing. That points out the fact that you don't have it. So why don't we just leave the I out of it? That was part of the great inspiration that I had in developing positive energy psychology, was that you don't even have to use the I. You can leave it out completely. And it feels so much better to leave it out, because what you're doing then is you're bypassing the whole part of the ego that wants to figure out what you're identified with, what you are and what you aren't. You're just describing a state of being, and you will resonate with that. You'll just feel it just by saying the phrase. And as you do that, you'll be harmonizing your vibration with what you want to experience. And that is very powerful. All right, so let's give you an example. Let's say you want to feel, I'll use the same one I've used in my other videos. You want to feel happy and prosperous, all right? So you have written that down. You've got that on your list. So you're just going to change it to being happy and prosperous. And you can also add feeling happy and prosperous. Or you could add allowing myself to be happy and prosperous. You could also do a knowing statement. These are interesting ways to change beliefs, where you would say, knowing I deserve to be happy and prosperous now. The knowing helps to just allow you to use an I statement, but just make it a state of being. It sort of, makes it more comfortable to accept and to harmonize with that. So that's how you're going to change these affirmations into PEP style affirmations. So once you've got that done, we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so once you have that list of PEP style positive affirmations that you want to anchor in your consciousness, then you're going to be activating these 12 different acupressure points on your face and body as you are thinking about those particular phrases that you want to experience. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to just teach you those 12 points right now, and we're going to use feeling peaceful well-being as the phrase to teach it to you for simplicity. That's a wonderful phrase, actually, to use in many situations. If you can't think of anything else, just use feeling peaceful well-being. It feels really wonderful. It's a really wonderful affirmation for anxiety or uncertainty or self-doubt or anytime you're feeling off balance. So remember that one. That's an easy one to use, and you can always use it whenever you're not sure what else to do. So just touch your eyebrow right on top of the eyebrow and say, feeling peaceful well-being. Again, you can just listen to me, or you can say it aloud, whatever you want to do. So you're going to be using a medium amount of pressure. You don't want it to be hard, you don't want it to be painful. So you can also imagine that you have balls of energy on the tips of your fingers if you like to. You don't have to do that, but it just helps to focus your attention on that area and helps to activate that acupressure point even more powerfully. And in Chinese medicine, they say that qi flows where the attention goes. So what we're doing is we're helping to bring attention to that energy point and saying, feeling peaceful well-being. So now you're going to go to the second point, which is right on the eye socket bone, right on the side of your eye, and say, feeling peaceful well-being. And just leave, your finger on the point for a couple of seconds after you say the phrase, to help that phrase anchor in your consciousness as you are activating the point. Now you're going to go to the third point, which is on the eye socket bone, directly down from your pupil. Feeling peaceful well-being. And now you're going to your upper lip, and just halfway between the base of your nose and your upper lip, right in the little ridge there. Feeling peaceful well-being. All right, and now you're going to the ridge on your chin, which is halfway between the base of your bottom lip and the tip of your chin, right there on the ridge. Feeling peaceful well-being. And now you're going to the collarbone point, which is, first you begin at the U-shaped indentation at the base of your throat and go 1 inch down and 1 inch over on either side, just under your collarbone. So you can just use, just use one side, or you can do both. If you want to use your middle finger and your thumb, you can activate both at the same time. Feeling peaceful well-being. And now you're going to go under your arm, about 4 inches down on the side of your body. Feeling peaceful well-being. And now we're going to do the finger points. These are from EFT. But they don't get used very often unless you're doing just the fingers, which is a nice technique. But you can find these points by going to the base of your nail bed on the side of your finger and just touch it with your thumb. So you touch these points and you'll say, feeling peaceful well-being. I like to use both hands if I have them free, but you can just do one as well if you're driving or, whatever. You can just use one hand if you need to. And then go to the middle finger. Again, at the base of the nail bed on the side of your finger, feeling peaceful well-being. The ring finger, base of the nail bed on the side, feeling peaceful well-being. Pinky, the base of the nail bed there, feeling peaceful well-being. And then the final point, you put your hands over your heart, over your thymus gland. This is a natural place that we put our hands when we are feeling off balance or emotionally, we get startled or surprised and we want to feel more centered. We put our hands over our heart and go, oh my goodness, this is a natural place that we do that because it is so centering. So you put your hands over your heart, and it's always nice to anchor in that place of love within us. So you just put your hands over your heart and say, feeling peaceful well-being. And then you'll go through that, and if you have more phrases, like I like to have 36 phrases, so I can go through 3 times. It feels really good to do it that way. But you can just stop at 1 if you want to, or at any point you want to. And when you finish, you'll have your hands over your heart, and then you'll say, "And so it is. Thank you." And that's just a nice way to end the session. So now I'm going to teach you the two-handed version of positive energy psychology. This is the version I like to use most, but I will use the one-handed version if I'm driving or something. But it just feels really good. It feels really good to anchor using both hands through this process. And you'll see I've added some additional points that make it even more powerful. So you're just going to touch your eyebrows and say, "Feeling peaceful well-being." Side of the eyes. "Feeling peaceful well-being." Under the eyes. "Feeling peaceful well-being." Upper lip. Now, here's where things change because you can't put both hands really on your upper lip. So you're going to put your fingers on your upper lip of one hand and then put your hand over your heart for the second hand. Feeling peaceful well-being. Chin. Leave your other hand on your heart. Feeling peaceful well-being. And now you're going to do the collarbone point with both fingers, left, your thumb and your middle finger on either side, 1 inch down and 1 inch over, and then put your other hand on your solar plexus. That's right at the base of your rib cage. Feeling peaceful well-being. And now under your arm, and keep the other hand on your solar plexus. Feeling peaceful well-being. And now the finger points as we did before. Feeling peaceful well-being. Feeling peaceful well-being. Feeling peaceful well-being. Feeling peaceful well-being. Your hands over your heart. Feeling peaceful well-being. And so it is. Thank you. And that's the end of the session. So that teaches you in a very basic way, in a simple way, how to use positive energy psychology and how to do it for yourself. It's a very simple technique, and please don't be deceived by that. It's very powerful. Sometimes the most powerful things come in the simplest form. It's a wonderful way to focus on what you want and to feel that wonderful unconditional well-being that's really who you are. That's, the aspect of yourself that's there beneath the surface turbulence of your ego, the negative old conditioned patterns that we all have within us. It helps you to sink deeper into that aspect of yourself that's wise and happy and knows that you are a wonderful being with great gifts to share and that you deserve prosperity and blessings of all kinds. As I've said in my other video, PEP is really a wonderful daily practice. It feels wonderful, so I really encourage you to give it a try. I'm going to have a lot more positive energy psychology videos coming up. I've got my Peace, Love, and Abundance collection that I'm going to be creating videos for soon. So please come back and watch those. They're just wonderful affirmations, and adding the activation of these points to these positive, wonderful, uplifting phrases is just such a beautiful experience. So I'd really like to share that with you as well. All right, if you'd like to get the free PEP manual, you can get it at my website at lauralawsonboatman.com, and you'll be able to find out more about my work there. And I've got a lot more information about positive energy psychology and about EFT and about all the different methods that you can use to help you feel that unconditional well-being that's within you, that place of wisdom and peace and centeredness and happiness. So I look forward to hearing from you if you'd like to share your ideas, and I'll see you in the next video. Blessings.